the School of Minds kids, I'm like, look, you're smarter than I
Yeah.
am, but I have some experience. I can hopefully negate some of the harder lessons that life might have taught you. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Nathan. I'm here with Devin. We are both executive function coaches here at Untapped Learning, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what Devin does specifically in terms of our programming. And yeah, just get a little bit of background. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I guess we should note here that Devin is the homework center coordinator. Yeah, and that actually, you're doing a lot of stuff.
Yes.
We got several locations that you've helped open, and yeah, I mean, I'm curious like more about that side of our program because I haven't really worked in the homework center too much, but it's been a great resource for my students.
So the homework center coordinator role is a new role focusing on developing the homework center so that it is better for our customers and our students. Also creating just new processes within the homework center that are effective at bettering the communication between our homework center tutors and the coaches that work with the specific students that are utilizing the homework center. I've also been on a couple of different projects, but also just developing processes for my coaching as well has been a big piece of my time here at Untapped, as well as helping support the tutors learn how they can best help our students.
It is a really unique kind of combination of the personalized coaching that we provide, right? And like you said, all of our coaches, we all have the same training, but we all have different backgrounds. So we all have kind of different specialties, whether it's how we
100%.
connect with students or just the systems that we use. I'm interested to hear about kind of the systems that you use on the coaching side or with the homework center, just because you have this like business background, right? You graduated from CU Boulder with a business degree.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how does that play into your coaching?
So, all right, I guess how I utilize my coaching in like trying to work with the homework center tutors is in many ways. We understand as a company that the personalization and the relationship that comes between a connection between you and the student is pretty high in keeping that student accountable on completing their work. And what I like to do is try to convey that to our homework center tutors and make sure that they're trying to build those relationships with students they see best fit for their type of character, right? And that really breeds a relationship in the homework center where they can banter with each other and they feel comfortable asking that tutor questions, because that's what we don't want in the homework center is a student that is afraid to ask somebody for help. So really building those relationships has been a very important part of the talks that I have with my tutors on a consistent basis. Also making sure to build connection with the other coaches here at Untapped so that they're getting an understanding of like who the student's coach is and what their relationship is like so that they can reciprocate some of those things, but also be able to lean into asking that coach, hey, what's the student struggling with? What do we need to be working on while they're in the homework center so that we're being effective at helping the student, but also creating an overall better experience for the family in the program.
Yeah, no, I love that. It is kind of like, you pass your student off to the homework center and then they're in this different environment, but it's in the same building, it's like internal support. So I really like how that combination has helped students. I mean, I'm just curious, so like when students come into the homework center, what is the motivation for students to get in there? Is it usually like them having trouble with their content, or is it more time management?
We have a wide variety of students that utilize the homework center as we do in the program as a whole. Around a quarter of our students in the program utilize the homework center, and that comes with many different EF disorders and many different reasons why they decide to utilize the homework center. I'd say the overbearing majority at the sports stable is usually boys that need a little bit more accountability built into their homework routines. So we have them coming in and we have tutors that are consistently checking in with them, also building great relationships with them, as that helps them to just feel more engaged while they're at the homework center, and also knowing that somebody's looking for you to do well, but also going to give you and reward you with the movement break has also been a big thing there. At Broomfield, you see kind of more wide variety as we have more tutors here. So you see students that simply want a place to complete their work and don't necessarily need the support from the tutor. We have students that may be falling behind a little bit in school and have I've reached out to their coach, and we've made a plan specifically for that student to utilize the homework center and work with a specific coach. And then you have students that have been using the homework center since they've been in the program, and it's just built into their routine now. So they're just continuously rejoining and coming back.
Yeah, it's a really unique resource, and You've probably like heard us say like tutors, and I just want to clarify the staff in the homework center, they are more like towards the spectrum of a traditional tutor, but really it's still a main focus on the systems that they're working on with their coach.
100,
Is that right?
100%. In the homework center, we're really not focused on just getting work done. We're focused on building the skills for the student to take ownership of their own work. So what this looks like many times is really asking open-ended questions rather than closed-ended questions. I want the student to be thinking through the process and also letting our students work through failure, right? You're gonna learn much better by messing up the first time than you are by just getting the answer from somebody. So having the student asking what is the first step? Okay, they try it, they mess up. All right, let's go back. Where did we mess up? And having the student work through that rather than just saying, this is where you messed up. This is the correct answer.
Right.
Go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, and this could range from with the student, like kind of what that looks like. I mean, with all of our students, what we really focus on is one thing is you can't do math in your head. Like, yes, we have some very,
Maybe
very.
you can.
Not even that. We have some very, very smart students in the program.
Yeah,
However,
for sure.
still, it is a practice and a very good practice to make sure that you are writing your math homework down, and usually in a linear process, so that you are seeing each step and how it works together. When it comes to like writing essays and stuff, I'm focused on not just diving straight into the essay, but having our tutors work with the student to make a plan for the essay. And then once they have that direction, then they're good to go off on their own and pretty much work through the entire essay on their own.
Right.
So really building those building blocks instead of giving answers is really the focus and priority, and like building those executive functioning skills, not just in the program, but within the homework center as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's awesome. And like you said, a lot of the students that we get are intelligent. I would argue that probably all the students that are in our program are quite intelligent. So, that I think that's an important distinction to make, is that it's the systems and kind of these other skills that they haven't been taught in school. A lot of the time when we see the middle schoolers and high schoolers, they've just breezed along. Like, they haven't really had to study. They were smart. Like, they just kind of were able to basically tune out in school, zone out, and just get everything done. And then they're becoming seniors, moving to college, and that's when things really start to fall apart. I think that's the story of Brandon and me and a lot of the coaches and staff here. So I think that's important to point out, because I mean, I get some of the students I'll be completely honest, the School of Mines kids, I'm like, look, you're smarter than I am, right? Like, I know for sure you're smarter than I am, but I have some experience, so I can hopefully negate some of the harder lessons that life might have taught you, and we can teach them to you in a environment where you're going to feel confident at working through that kind of stuff.
100%.
Rather than out in the real world.
And that goes also like in the homework center. We have college students with very high level classes that we might not always have the specific support ready on that specific day for that student. However, each of our tutors is well trained in understanding how to support that student in body doubling. How can we work through this as an issue together rather than just leaving the student hanging? Let's go look through your class notes. Let's go look online for resources and tools. One tool that we've been leveraging a lot in the homework center, especially when a tutor may be questioning, is the Gemini guided learning tool, which walks students through their problems by asking questions like I would want our tutors to.
That's awesome.
Rather than utilizing any AI just to give you the answer. Because that is one key that we're trying to make sure across the program, really, that students are using AI effectively and not just using it to get the work done. Because once again, that doesn't build understanding, that just gets the problem done.
Yeah, when we have students use AI, usually with my students, it's like to help with some of those softer skills like metacognition, like self-reflection or advocacy. It's not, they're not doing like their whole planning schedule or anything on there. And they're certainly not writing essays on there.
For sure.
But I've found some of the ways that, especially my college students have used AI is, there's some attachments that you can use on your Canvas, and then that just pulls stuff from your Canvas, everything on your class or whatever, which hopefully they have a lot of stuff on there. And then it can like create podcasts, it can create practice questions and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to be able to work with a whole spectrum of like I think my youngest student's 12 or 13, and
Yeah.
I have a couple students that are graduating this year,
Yeah.
which is awesome. One of the students I have that is graduating this year, I've been working with for probably 3 years, I think now. When
Nice.
we
Yeah.
got him, he was at Virginia Tech. He was really wanting to get into the business school, so
Yeah.
we had to literally like work up his GPA point by point from like
Yeah.
2.5 to whatever 3.2,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
it was so exciting when he got into
Yeah.
business school, and then it was like a whole different game, you know, and we had to adapt so much to a much more complicated and full workload, you know, so that was like really exciting to see him go all the way through. I mean, we could sit here all day and talk about like student stories, the ups and downs of everything, but
For sure.
that's like the most special part of it is really like developing these relationships with these students. It's a partnership really between the student, the coach, and the family, right? Because that's another thing that we really try and focus on is reducing the tension at home and having good communication.
A lot of the communication that I have with families includes like reaching out about the homework center. I work with like the breadth of the students that utilize the homework center and the breadth of students that are in the program, because reaching out to families about like different times when the homework center would be a good use for them, reaching out to families that with students that we know are currently struggling in schools and maybe have a lot of missing assignments, and reminding them of the resource that is the homework center and that they could utilize as a part of the program that they're already in. So that has been a great process of just also being able to connect with families outside of the students that I work with personally and offering them more support, and also, once again, helping to break away that tension that they're having with their student. It's great to have them come into the homework center, and then I could have the conversation with the student about what's going on. And many times I've seen a shift in behavior just from simple conversations with the student about their behavior and how they want to move forward and how they want to have a better relationship with their family, get their mom and dad off their back because of the 5 missing assignments they have. But you get it done all tonight, you won't have to worry about it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just a really, really cool part of the program that we offer. And of course, if you're watching this and want to learn more about our programs, you can click on the website link below, and that'll take you to our company page, Untapped Learning. There's also a lot of resources on the YouTube channel, so you can check those out. We got different interviews with professionals and some how-to videos and all sorts of cool stuff on there. So.
Also on that homework center page, you can find my information. If you need specific support for your student, please reach out to me and I'll connect you with the best tutor relationally and subject-wise. So,
I love it. Last thing. What is this?
This is our homework center check-in form.
Okay.
So just to give like a general understanding of like how the homework center day looks for, or we'll say for our tutors, but also for our students.
Yeah.
The student will come in, they will be greeted by one of our coaches. They'll come sit down and given a little bit of time to get their stuff together. We don't want to instantly bombard them with questions.
Yeah, that's important.
Let them get their stuff out, let them get organized before we actually go up. We'll go ahead then check in with the student and see what they need to work on today. We'll specifically rely on the student to tell us what they need to work on. However, there's times that we get, I don't have anything to do.
Yeah,
that's where we'll go ahead and check the student's dashboard that they make with their coach. Or we'll go actually into the students' portals and like Schoology, Google Classroom, Infinite Campus, and figure out what the student actually needs to get done. We usually try to get at least 3 assignments on the plan for the day.
Wow.
Within an hour-long session, you should be able to complete around the 3 assignments depending on what the assignment is. So we always try to make sure that we're managing what the student is working on to a level that we understand that they're actually going to be going to finish it. We don't want to plan too much and then the student feels like they didn't do the work that they were supposed to.
Right.
So we always try to be realistic, time sensitive, and specific on what we actually want to complete. But yes, once again, step 1, checking those portals. Step 2, creating that priority list. And then step 3, if there are any missing assignments that we want to try to dedicate some time to, we always want to break those down here. While the students in the homework center, they're going to get around 15-minute check-ins unless they're asking the tutors for some support on their homework. And in those 15-minute increments, the tutor is really specifically looking to see progress on the student's assignment. What have you completed since we last talked? Did you complete the amount of work that you wanted to? Are you having any specific struggles? And then at some point, I would say like halfway through the student's homework center session, we look to take a movement break just to take a step back from the work, get some of that energy out that you've had built up from the day at school. Or
absolutely. That's, really a core piece of our program for sure.
100%. And if the student is struggling for, emotional regulation, it is always an easy piece to be like, hey, let's not worry, be stressed about this assignment. Let's go take a break, and then we'll re-engage with it. Just to give a little bit of a break and also make sure that the student isn't becoming flustered.
Right.
And then come back into the homework center, re-engage with your work, and then once you're done with your session, you're all good to go. Our homework center tutors will complete a form that updates the coach on what work the student worked on during their session, how focused they were during their session, and any notes that the tutor had specifically for the coach to review, just so they could bring that conversation up during their actual coaching session. It's important that we just have some form of feedback loop so that our coaches aren't separate from our tutoring program. We want to make sure that everybody is synergized, and I also take a lot of the role in like communicating from the coach back to the tutor on what specific needs the student has.
So it's really, really important for our program to have like communication between the coach, homework center, student, teachers at the school, right? Or IEP or whatever, and the families. So. Yeah. I guess just to finish up, like, what would you tell, student or a parent that is watching this and they're feeling flustered, if they had a really hard semester, and they're just looking for some support, what would you
I would say setting up the routine of utilizing the homework center early is always best. Making any routine, starting as soon as possible, is always the best process to make sure that you're comfortable in it and that early on that you can make the changes that are needed or necessary to be more effective. So if you did struggle at all this semester, let's try to get you into the homework center early on this coming semester so that you're ready to hit the ground running. Also, please reach out to me if there's like any specific support that you're looking for, because I'd love to connect you with the right tutor at the right time for you guys. So,
dude, awesome. Thank you for doing this with me. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Like I said, if you want to learn more about the company, you can click on the website link below. We also got a link there for free resources that parents and teachers and students can use. And you're always welcome to reach out to us through our website or through our social media. So thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on the Executive Function for All podcast. If today's episode brought you any value, please rate us 5 stars and share it with someone who may benefit. And remember, every small step you take builds towards your success. For resources and guidance, visit untappedlearning.com. Keep growing, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.